Greetings, Patrick here. 8 Questions with. Happy Saturday, happy Catterday. Um, we are here for a matinee show today, um, and we're glad that you are here. We will be talking to our guest, Jennifer and Allan from the wonderful YouTube channel Jennifer at Home. They will be with us in about 15 minutes or so. Yeah, so thank you guys all for coming in. Uh, I guess I should start off the show with wishing our good friend V from Call Me V a happy birthday. Congratulations on another year around the sun. And hopefully you're having a great time. Hopefully you're having a great time on your birthday. Okay, seeing that I have something there. Hmm. All right. Uh, well, so today is wow. I'm looking outside and it's so beautiful out here. It's crazy. Is that last night we had thunderstorms basically parked themselves over our house and cracked off for about an hour and a half. And I swear a couple of them were like sitting on my front yard. Uh, some of the brightest lightning I've ever seen. And definitely one of the biggest cracks of thunder I've ever heard. It shook my house. It shook the house. Hey, Stephen, how are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Yeah, our guest will be here in about 15 minutes or so. So, yeah. Uh, I'm sort of a little bit out of it today because it looks like Paladin is sick. And this is the second time he's been sick in about a couple of months. So I'm a little bit concerned. He's laying in the closet. He came downstairs, but he didn't eat his treats, and that never happened. So I'm still keeping my eye on the camera here, and I gotta keep an eye on him over there. All right, so what are we doing for August? I'm glad you asked. Yes, we had two special guest stars. So I found Jennifer at Home through Mary Catherine Loves Cats. No, I actually found her through Tim, Tim Maple Leaf, the chef, and oh, that's not his name, Tim. I don't know why I said that. Maple Leaf. So I found Jennifer and Allan through Maple Leaf, and I've been following their channel for a while now. And what a really nice couple they are. A super sweet couple. They're based in Texas. Um, they're exactly what you expected a married couple would be. They have the kid. Their kids are they they had kids. They've had a lovely home. They're they're very conscientious people, um, and very creative. They work so well together. No, they don't know, Stephen. They don't know that you're a karaoke country singer. Nobody knows that until you come in here and let them know that. Yeah. You know what? I just have a bad memory. I keep forgetting that, but I don't see you every show. So unless you show up and tell them, I tend to forget. See, that gives you even more reason to show up for every show. Um, so I met Jennifer and Allan and through Maple Leaf, and I noticed that she is a wonderful chef. She loves being in the kitchen. They're very much at home. They do a lot of cool things on their channel. They do shopping trips. They do haul videos. They do decluttering videos. Um, Jennifer shared her misadventures with us, which we'll ask her about. She had a big misadventure, and I do mean big misadventure, but they rallied around it together. And hopefully by today, when we talk to them, hopefully it seems to be 100%. But the injuries that she suffered, they can take a little while to heal. But she is a wonderful chef. They have a lot of company over, and they would do a lot of things with their friends, pizza parties, movie nights, hockey. Basically, they're living their best lives. And her YouTube channel shows off a lot of recipes. a lot of quick recipes. Even someone like myself could could actually make some of the recipes that Jennifer does. But I know because I'm not a really much of a cook. So, well, we're talking about them at their YouTube journey because her Jennifer's YouTube channel, Jennifer at Home, is rapidly approaching 2,000 followers, subscribers. I believe her channel is it's definitely one of the bigger as far as growing goes. I believe it's one of the faster ones growing in my circle of friends. It seems like every time I'm going over there, she's growing her channel, and I can understand why because it's such a cool channel. It's very much like it's very much there's a lot of cool channels out there that focus on the home and like Mary Catherine Loves Cast, Jesse's Unboxing, Stephanie from Glitzy Gem, um, our two fun sisters, Jamie and Crystal. Uh, they have a lot of home channels, a lot of unboxing channels. Tiffany wears T-shirts. Her channels is very much like that, focused on the home, fun unboxings, different fashions, whatnot. So this is going to be a fun interview, and I'm glad you're here for it. It's different. It's a different type of interview for sure, but it's one that I really enjoy having and hosting, and I hope to do it a lot more. To tell you the truth, because I love the creativity of our fellow YouTubers. Always a lot of fun. All right. Well, our guest just walked through the basement, and you know the rule. Once you get here, you get to go up. So those who will be coming in a few more minutes or whatnot, or watching on the replay, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show. And let's go get our guests, Jennifer and Allan. Hello.
Hello, Patrick.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I wonder if I should make that a little smaller. Let me
I
see if
was
I
going
can
to
make.
say we might need to move a little bit. We're kind of out of the
Yeah,
screen.
let me see if I can fix that.
Yeah, I think that worked.
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Ta-da! All right. Uh, glad you guys are here. I
Thank you
know
for having us.
Yes, thank you for inviting us.
I'm sure it's probably the last thing you thought would happen on a trip to go see your kids is to end up doing
Yes.
an interview.
Yeah, well, we planned a last minute trip. Our daughter got a new puppy and we wanted to come and see it before it got too big.
Oh, what kind of puppy do they get?
Well, it's a rescue puppy, so it's just a cute little furry black dog that looks like a little tiny bear cub.
Oh, okay, okay. You
We're
can't
not
go wrong with
exactly.
that.
Oh, Ellen has a picture. There she is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, rescues are the best, aren't they?
Yes.
Right there's the camera.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How cute is that? Looks like maybe a black Labrador.
You know, our daughter told me earlier it has some kind of, I think it's some kind of a chow mix. So, but it's fluffy. It's
Yeah,
fluffy and
she's
very
super soft.
rambunctious
Yes.
and soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, rescues are the best, for sure. I mean, that's the only way I get. That's the only way I ever get my pets have always been rescues.
Yeah.
I just think it's the best way. Now that's one thing you guys do not have, right? You don't have any pets.
We do
No,
not.
we don't. We
Uh,
like animals. We love animals. We think they're just awesome and wonderful. But I think because, for the most part, because we just travel so much, we're always coming and going, always going to see the kids, and it just would be really hard to have an animal. We don't want to leave it home or leave it with someone, and then or put it in a kennel. So we just kind of enjoy our kids' pets. Our son has a little thing that's like a fish. It's like a Mexican fish called an axolotl, and it's a unique little pet. It lives in the water in an aquarium, I've never seen anything like it until he got one. And
Never.
so, yeah. So that'll be something for everybody to Google, that little Mexican fish pet that has legs. It has
It's kind of like a salamander type.
yes,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it swims and lives in an aquarium like a fish, and it
Yeah,
eats dry shrimp.
you know, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, because it seems like once you got on YouTube and you go around and you see people talk about their pets, you find out a lot of animals that you think you have a preconceived notion about. Like, I would have never thought a lizard would have a personality, but wow, am I wrong? I mean, I've seen many YouTube channels with lizards or turtles or birds, just absolutely 100% personality driven. Okay, can you see the chat? Okay.
Yes, just fine.
Okay, because we have some people coming over. They're coming over saying hello. Our friends from Moon over Miami and Sue from the Bud Files are here.
Hi everybody. Hello, Sue. I'm a subscriber on the Bud Files channel.
Fun channel. Fun.
It
Very
sure
fun.
is.
Your channel is so. I found you through Maple Leaf.
Oh, Maple Cook?
Maple Cook. That's how I found your channel.
Yes, he was one of my very first subscribers, and so he's been with me like literally from day one, I think. So he's been a long time. So I enjoy watching his channel. But since the beginning, he's been a subscriber, and of course, I subscribed on his channel, and so he was one of the first people. And I think the first time we had a subscriber that wasn't one of us, we were just so we couldn't believe it. Allan said, look, somebody watched the channel. And he said, it has 5 views. And I was like, okay, I watched once, you watched once. I'm naming off everybody who would have watched. And there was a 5th person. And I said, who could that be? It's a stranger, somebody we don't know actually watched the channel. And we couldn't believe it.
Isn't it always, isn't it like that the first time you sent it out there, right? Like I got talked into doing a YouTube channel. I didn't really have any plans. I was on the outside, I was just like a supporter.
Yes.
And I was hanging around my friend Dan's channel, and him and I were film reviewers, and he was doing it on his channel. I was doing it on my blog, but him and I were friends. So we talked about it, and then I got talked into starting my own channel. And I remember that first time too. The first time I got someone to sub to my channel was like, okay, someone actually subbed to me. Now what?
Yeah. It's just a bewildering moment. I just couldn't believe it. Once I realized that it was somebody we didn't know. And then I had some people that were coming back and commenting and watching videos. And I'm like, they're just coming back. So it was super exciting. But we were the same way. Our son has a YouTube channel, and it's called MT Paradise. And he's the one, has had his channel for years. And so he's the one that told me that I should have a channel. And he told me for 2 or 3 years before I even started one. And I said, nobody's going to watch it. Who would want to watch what I have to do? And he's like, Mom, you would be surprised. He said, you have some really good recipes that you could share that are easy, that maybe people that don't think they could cook might want to try easy recipes, and it could be really helpful. And so I said, well, okay, I'll put some recipes and things out there. And then we started filming some of our adventures, because we like to have all of the memories when we go and do things with the family and trips. And I thought, well, this way we could put these on there, and that way all of the family can remember all of the fun we had and all the trips and visits we had together. And then we started doing some other things, and here we are, 2.5 years. November will be the 3rd year.
Yeah, your channel is really doing really well. It's like I mentioned before you got here, it seems like every time I go over there and peek up on your new video, you've gained like 20 or 30 subscribers. You're closing up on 2,000 subs.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. It seems like it's taken forever. Some of the times I remember I was like at 188, 186,
Yeah.
187, 184. And I never thought I would get out of the 180s. I would get discouraged and tell my son, okay, my numbers are going up and down. Sometimes they would stay the same for 3 weeks at a time. It would get discouraging. And he would say, Mom, just keep trying, just hang in there. And so he encouraged me to keep on going.
And
Well, what's really cool too is that Allan, most of them, I know a lot of channels, they have are married couples, but it always seems like it's just one or the other doing the channel. But with you two, you guys are both full. You guys are both all in. Both of you are not afraid to be in front of the camera, and you guys both feel very comfortable in front of the camera together. See, a lot of couples that I've seen, that the one will be in front of the camera, the other one will be filming it. Well, one's a little bit photo shy, but you two are, and I think this is what really adds the charm to your channel, and lets people actually see who you really are, is that you guys do it together, and you're comfortable doing so. That's what really grabbed me about your channel, because I see a lot of different home channels, or home channels, or unboxing channels, beauty channels. And the owner most of the time is a woman, and they'll mention the husband, but then the husband never shows up.
Yeah, well, Allan is my biggest supporter. I'm not really good with the computer things, and Allan has been he's been the backbone of the editing, because I don't know that I would be able to get a video loaded without his help. And our son will tell him, Allan will say, he'll ask our son, he'll say, Mitchell, how do I do this or that? And Mitchell will tell him, and he has it. Allan will have it down. Okay, thanks. And then he does it. But I have to write it all down. And then I'm thinking, now, wait a minute, what did we do here? But thank goodness Allan is really good at that. And if it weren't for Allan, I would not get a video put out.
oh, shucks.
Allan, did you have trouble at all? Were you nervous at first when Jennifer asked you to go on camera with her? Was it something you're like, well, this is your thing, honey?
No.
I'm good over here. Or did you embrace it right away?
No, I didn't have a problem with it at all. So I'm retired military. I was in for 30 years. So getting in front of groups or getting on the computer to do teleconferences, things like this, public speaking really didn't bother me. I'm trying to encourage this one, right? So if that's what it took to get on there and help her feel more comfortable with doing it, then there was no problem at all.
Yes, I'm really shy, and I really am not. I really didn't think I would be able to put out a video, because I'm the one who would be least likely to get behind the camera. Allan has, that might be a surprise, but I'm least likely of the two of us to get out and do a video. It really put me out of my comfort zone. But Allan's done lots and lots of public speaking in front of really large groups of people, and it really doesn't seem to faze him.
But one of the things that Jennifer was there and supported my entire career. So even though I work full time, I'm still going. This is for her. So I don't mind being in it, but I have no intentions of taking it over, because I don't want this to become her supporting me again. This is about me supporting her. Yeah,
that comes through. That comes through as you're definitely supporting her. Because when I think of the channel, I immediately think that the impression is Jennifer, because she has all those great, wonderful recipes, the decluttering, and then you're there like almost like the Tonto to her Lone Ranger, and it's really, really sweet, and it's so supportive, and it's so you can definitely feel the love coming from you guys when you guys are talking and are on camera and whatnot.
Thank you.
So we. Because you mentioned the chat, I do want to interrupt and talk about support. There's all kinds of friends. We got Master of All Movies, Presswood DVD Collector. They said hello a little while ago. Oregon Zan, she just popped in. Hello.
Oregon Zan.
And then we've got Miami. I missed the whole the whole word. I got my mouse here. We have to go
I
back up there. I want to make sure we say hello to everybody,
Yes.
Patrick, and I don't want to miss any expectations here.
Well, I'll tell you a small secret.
Yes, sir.
So Oregon Zan, her and I have known each other since high school. We were high school classmates.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, I was messaging with her the other day. She saw the announcement online, I think on Instagram. And so we were messaging, and she did tell me that, and I was just flabbergasted, wasn't I?
Just a small world. You just don't anticipate.
That's awesome. She's one of my very favorite channels.
I'm glad she's here. I have missed her very, very much the last couple of years. Things happen in life, and things go bump in the night, but you still love the person, you still cherish them. I'm so glad. Because to me, I would love to talk to her as well, because she's such a sweet person, and she, in high school, she was one of the kindest people we had in our class. I mean, things like that. You don't really think about that. Most people don't think about the impressions they leave. But in this case, the impression has always stayed with me. It's always stayed with me. She's just been a beautiful person since the day I met her up till now, and I'm glad she's here. Thank you, Moon over Miami. I appreciate that. Hope. Let me go ahead and grab some. You know what? I'm going to grab your Instagram real quick, and I'm going to drop that in there, because I want people to go to your Instagram, because I noticed, Jennifer, that you have really been trying hard to push your Instagram. So I'm gonna have a few more people go over there and say hello to
you. Yes, I'm not really good with Instagram, and I wasn't for sure for a long time the purpose of Instagram.
We're still working on it.
Still working. And then I had messages coming through. In fact, I was so bad at Instagram that Oregon Zam was coming to my town. She was going to be coming through there. And I was so upset because she sent me a message on Instagram, and I didn't realize it was even there. And so about 3 weeks after she had come through town and gone, I saw the message, and I was heartbroken that I could have just driven 30 minutes down the road and met Oregon Zan in person, but maybe next time. But now I check my Instagram, and
it's sort of hard. It's sort of a challenge. You're balancing all these social media platforms, and you're trying to get your content out. And Instagram's a great place to promote. It's actually my favorite place to promote. Even though they're not very YouTube friendly, like you can't put up links. They can't leave. It's hard to. As far as promoting goes, they don't like. You can't really put, cut and paste your address and put it in a comment or anything like that. It's not that friendly. But if you work at it, Instagram is a great place to promote. How did you? I mean, was there any other channels that inspired you to join YouTube? I mean, how did you end up doing it? I mean, I know this was for you, and your son was telling you, but what was the main reason why you joined?
Well, I had a couple of channels that I really liked, and one was a decluttering channel, and I'm always like trying to clear out and declutter things, but yet I still like to decorate. So I just try to balance that with keeping the house cleared out. I don't like anything to be out of order or cluttered. So I still like to do decorating videos and things, but those channels inspired me to really, they were very helpful of keeping out the clutter, and that really encouraged me because I thought I could be very helpful in that way, helping people work through things they don't need and talk through ways to think about what to keep and what to get rid of. So I really love that about the channels that were inspiring to me.
I love those kind of channels. I like going over there. I like seeing what the creativeness that people come up with. Your decluttering videos that you just put out of the closet, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, I'm glad.
That was a lot of fun to watch.
But it's stressful on this end. Hold on. When your stuff being gotten.
I saw that. I'm going like, man, Allan is a clothes horse. I was like,
Yeah, but that many of them, right? I mean, there's
right.
3 feet of them are work polos. So
I, I saw that and I'm going like, man, this is just this is looking like my closet because Lorianne, she dressed me well too. I mean, I can't believe all the stuff. Yeah, she would get me. She would find shirts here or find shoes here and says, okay, I picked you up a little something or let's go shopping because we're gonna get you some clothes. And I'm like, but I got some clothes. I got clothes. Says no, but you need these clothes. So I get that. You mentioned you 30 years military. What's branch of the service were you in, Allan?
the Air Force. I was an air traffic controller.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
that's a stressful job.
It can be, but I promise you, I don't drink coffee. Don't drink, don't smoke cigarettes, and I'll say this here on camera: I've never beat my wife. So all that stuff that you see on TV, it's all a matter of perception. Everything that you do is a matter of how you internalize it, and then put that out. So I actually found it very relaxing. I love to do it.
Oh, okay. Now, did you ever thought about doing? Did you ever think about doing it on at a regular airport, or were you just like, no, I'm good?
Oh no, I absolutely would have loved to. I made a decision to continue on with my military career, and to do that in the FAA, they normally want you hired by age 30, 32 with an age waiver, and I was over that by the time I finished my military career. So going straight into the FAA and getting a retirement from them later on was not an option at that point. And at 56 years old, the FAA puts you out to pasture. You have to go into management. You're not allowed to talk to airplanes anymore.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very fun. I mean, that's the reason why you get into the job, I think.
Yeah.
Were you always based in because you guys live in Texas, and were you always based in Texas?
No.
Well, actually, now we live in New Mexico, but we live right by the Texas border, so we do a lot of different things.
Close to El Paso.
Yeah, that's probably why that's probably why the impression I got you're in Texas. A lot of times you guys do go to El Paso. Wow,
Yeah.
how do you like New Mexico?
Well, it's okay. It's the third time we've lived in New Mexico. We had 2 different assignments in New Mexico, and then when Allan retired, he had an opportunity to work in the space industry, and so we moved to New Mexico for his new job after he retired. But since we had already lived in New Mexico twice, I said, well, I really like New Mexico, and I wouldn't mind living there again. And we had some friends here at the time when Allan retired, so it was very nice to move where we already were familiar and had friends living there already.
So a quick breakdown. Grand Forks, North Dakota, and then we lived right outside of Oxford, England in the United Kingdom, right outside of Rapid City, South Dakota for 6 or 7 years.
6.5 years.
Clovis, New Mexico. And then I went to Greenland for a year. 750 miles north of the Arctic Circle. So then we came back. We moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and then I went to Greenland again, and
for another whole year,
and did some more time at Little Rock, and then we went to Germany and lived about 20 minutes from Luxembourg, the Belgium border, right there as well
for 3 years.
For 3 years, and came back to New Mexico.
And we lived on an army post for a year, which was pretty cool.
Then moved to Del Rio, Texas for 3 years, where I retired, and then took that job opportunity up here in Las Cruces.
Nice.
So we've been a lot of different places, and Allan would have stayed in the military even longer, but he had reached the top of his promotions. He couldn't get promoted anymore because he had already gotten to the top of what he was available, and then they had a
higher tenure.
Yeah. So
I had done 30 years, and you're not allowed to, unless you're in one position at the Pentagon, you can't stay over longer than 30 years.
But he would still be in the Air Force working every day just like he did, because that's what he loved to do. In fact, he was only 12 when you decided that's what you wanted to do?
Somewhere in there.
11 or 12, he decided he wanted to be an air traffic controller in the military. So
that's a pretty unusual thing for an 11 or 12-year-old. I mean, most kids that age, like if you think about that, you want to fly.
I had an uncle who up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, he worked for the FAA, and he had learned how to do it in the Navy earlier in life. So that was kind of the motivation of that.
Yeah, because how long do you have to train to be a military air traffic controller? Because it's a little different from civilian.
Well, so the Air Force controllers are certified by the FAA. They use the FAA training program. So I have all FAA credentials, exactly the same in my wallet. And that's about 6 or 8 months. And then when you get to your base, every time you go to a new base, you enter into about a 6 month to a year upgrade program to learn each airport's particulars.
Yeah, because I guess every one of them has their own quirks, so to speak.
Absolutely. Airplanes, the airport's different. The runway lengths are different.
Now, did you get to work as air traffic controller when the Blue Angels came by?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and the Thunderbirds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. We get what we call Thunder over Michigan here. Actually, I think it's going to be happening in August this year, and the Blue Angels fly right over our house. I mean, right over. I've been able to wave at a couple of those planes. Like you have like a pair of binoculars, and you can see them up there because they're going so fast, and you're waving, and you see the pilot wave back at you. It's like really trippy.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Jennifer? Are you a big fan of flying?
Well, it's okay. I really don't think I am, come to think about it. I enjoy watching the planes. Of course, I have some Thunderbird videos out there that I really had fun making. Well, we both had fun making those. And so I really enjoy watching all of the planes.
Okay.
I'm a fan of big cargo planes, the C-17.
Oh, you like the cargo planes?
Oh, yes. I love the big planes, and I even took a flight in a refueling plane once. And
KC-135.
Yes, and I got to watch all of the refueling procedures, and that was pretty cool.
I can sort of see her. I mean, Allan, am I wrong? But I mean, don't you think she'd be right at home in a fast mover? Put her in a Raptor, and
I'm a good sport. I give most things a try. I think my roller coaster days are over.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You should see her coming off a roller coaster.
Yeah. Now, but you're not afraid of heights, though. I mean, you. Whoops, we lost the sound.
Well, we can still hear you.
Okay. The sound cut off for a second there. So now that you've been a military wife, I mean, how did you deal with it? I mean, because you had kids, so now you raised. Now, how many children do you guys have? I think
we have 2 kids. Our daughter is 33, and she's married, and then we have our son that's 30, and so he lives in Texas. Our daughter lives in Phoenix, in Arizona, and so I was so busy with the kids and working. A lot of military wives stay home with the kids, and because they move so many times, it's really hard to get a job. But I worked in a different field where I could get a job quickly and easily wherever we lived. And so I was so busy trying to keep everything just on track. I had, kept up with everything and had so many, different things to do every single day that it was just, the days just flew by. And Allan ended up being gone. I calculated once just his big assignments and trips he was on. It was about 6.5 years of the time when the kids were growing up that he was deployed or on the remote for a year at a time. And so I was super busy, so much so, and trying to keep everything on track that the time really went by quickly. So that was a good thing that I was so busy.
Let me ask you this, Allan, because I like asking these sort of questions, and so I'm also asking you this. You served for 30 years in defending our country from enemies, foreign and domestic. But given in today's atmosphere, would you have done it again? Would you do it today in today's atmosphere? Would you do it today?
Well, so there's one thing to keep in mind. Regardless what your views are, right? If you leave because you don't agree with the views of leadership, then you don't have an opportunity to make a difference. Leadership will change, whether it changes with presidential administration. Commanders on average change out every 2 to 3 years. I've had my share of leadership that I didn't necessarily agree with. And what matters is you do what you need to do to watch out for your people and set them up. I told a young airman one time, I'm not here to be your father. Your parents did what they had to do to make you a decent human being. I'm here to make sure you're a decent airman and to set you up for the rest of your career. And I think that's so the answer to your question is, would it be hard during the current environment?
It
Absolutely.
would be challenging.
Definitely.
Yes, I agree.
If I was still in right now, I would have definitely thought about retiring, but I would hope that I could have stayed long enough to make a difference and outlast the other people.
I just say, every time I think of a military, my dad was a Marine. He served in Korea, and he saw combat during the Korean War, and I just thought about, when you think most military, you always see them facing outward, like here's our country, and most military are facing outward because we always expect when the enemy's from outside our borders. And it's sort of hard because it seems like more and more is coming from within our borders. And it's like, as a military person, it's like, how do you feel betrayed by that atmosphere, by seeing all the riffraff that's going on in our country? And I'm just, I know you still, even though you're retired, technically from the military, you still think like that because you don't turn that off. My dad never turned that off. He was a Marine. He was a Marine in the 50s. He was a Marine in the 60s. He was a Marine in the 70s. But that's why I was asking you. That's why I asked you about that. I mean, would you do it? Would you do it again today? Would you serve today, knowing what you know now? Would you do it again? That's a tough question, and I thank you for answering that. It's a tough one, but I was curious about that. But Jennifer, so here you are. You're a mom now, and Allan's he's deployed. So where did you get the love for your kitchen at? Because that is the one thing. If people say, what? Yes, Sarah, and Sarah saying, thank you for your service, Allan.
Well, that's nice.
Thank you.
Jennifer, that's one thing about your channel, and what I really love about it is you love your kitchen. So where did you get the love of the kitchen at?
Well, like I said, I was a working mom, so I would be gone all day. I would pick the kids up from the daycare because I wouldn't get home till 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. And so the kids would go to an after school daycare after they got out of school. And then I would come home after a long day, and then I would need to get all the, cook the meals. I told the kids today, I said, I don't know how I got a hot dinner on the table every single night, but that's why I do easy recipes that are pretty quick, because I didn't learn to cook growing up. So I taught myself how to cook, and through trial and error, I put all different kind of recipes together. And sometimes, like even now, I still make up some recipes myself and think, let me use what I have and put it together and come up with something. And so that's the reason I cook the way I do, because I needed to be quick and efficient. As soon as we would have dinner and clean up, it was on to doing homework and school projects and all of the sports things and cheerleading that the kids did. It was very time consuming. And through some of that time, I was fill-in brownie leader and soccer coach. And so I had to be a very quick, efficient cook. And I want other people to realize that cooking doesn't have to be hard. You can put some things together, what you have on hand, and make a meal out of it. And it doesn't have to be difficult.
Let's see. James wants to know about, James is from the Friendly Man here. He's mentioning he loves mashed potatoes. Yes, that is a good that's a good thing to use in mashed potatoes. I've heard people making mashed potatoes with using mayonnaise, and they actually put bacon bits in it. What's your most fun recipe that you've come up with by yourself?
Well, I just did one the other day. Our friend,
he's good.
Yeah,
I know where she's going.
I'm going to be fixing it all the time. Our friend gave us these really large peppers. They're called Marconi peppers. He grew them in his garden. I had never seen or heard of the pepper in my life, but it was soft and it seemed really nice. And I thought, what am I going to do with these? I can't waste them. He grew these in his garden and worked really hard to get these. You'd take care of them every day. And then he gave them to us so proudly. I thought, okay, I have to do something with these. So I just cut them open, took the seeds out, and I thought, let me stuff these with something. And we love pizza. Allan and I could eat pizza every meal. But I thought, let me see if I can do something healthy with these. So I just took some cream cheese and mixed some pizza sauce in it. So I put some pepperoni in there, and I just stuffed those peppers with really good pizza filling. They were cheesy. The cream cheese made them super cheesy, and I put some mozzarella cheese, wrapped them in some foil, baked them in the oven, and it was one of the best things I think I've ever.
We've had them twice now since then.
He keeps giving us the peppers, and I keep stuffing them. So pizza peppers was a video I made just about a week or so ago, and we'll be eating those quite often.
Literally, she made them, filmed the video, and we're like, we got to put this out.
I noticed Allan, that when you guys do have the kitchen videos, I noticed that you're there a lot. Most husbands, they don't even go inside the kitchen, but you're not like that. You are Mr. Kitchen.
He loves to cook. Yes, he's always been cooking, and he has a smoker and a barbecue grill that he loves to put things on and make videos.
So you'll see things out there every once in a while, and I'll put things over on my Instagram. Maybe I can get Traeger to notice me one day, and that'll be an exit plan. I can stop doing airport stuff and just grill and smoke all day.
Why not? I mean, especially the cuisine in the Southwest is very popular. It has been popular for quite a while now. So there's all sorts of fun recipes you can make. Zan mentions the best part about the peppers is the low carb. Let's see, and James says he just started going to a gym. This is hard for me to listen to this because she just described what she just described sounds really good. Yeah, if you went to her channel, James, after you follow her channel, her and Allan's channel, you will be there for quite a bit. She has so many fun recipes.
Yeah. I have some friends that do low carb and keto friendly things, and so they're always asking me, can you do a low carb keto friendly dish? So I try to do some of those too and put those out there so that people, in their low calorie, so that people who are doing different kind of plans can have a little bit of variety to enjoy with those recipes too that are super easy.
Yeah, your potato salad that you just did, I think about a week ago or so.
Yes,
it looks so good.
It was delicious. We were having some friends over, and I thought, I don't want to make some boring potato salad. Let me just kick it up a little bit, and I'll just add some ranch seasoning from a ranch salad dressing packet, and it was really delicious. It was very flavorful.
Now, one of the things that we should talk about too is, like, after I found your channel and I came onto it, you had a misadventure. So let's talk about your misadventure because yes. Oh my gosh. You know what? I felt so bad for you. I felt so bad for you, but then again, I have to speak as a husband. I gotta say, Allan flew that husband flag awfully high. Tell us what happened to you and how did you do it? How did you end up having this adventure?
So it was November 19th. I'll never forget the day. Allan was up on the roof and he was checking around on the roof just before winter came to make sure everything was good. And I had been talking to our son on the phone, and I just kept noticing a little tree in our backyard looked a little scraggly. And so I told our son, I'm going to go out in the backyard and trim that little tree up real quick. So I got off the phone and I got my things on. Thank goodness I had a coat on and some gloves, and got my tree trimmers and trimmed the little tree. And I had all of the branches in my arms in front of me. So I was carrying these and I wasn't looking at the ground. And the tree had a little line coming down to keep it from blowing over in the wind. It was to keep it sturdy. And it was the same color as the gravel underneath and everything. I forgot it was there. So I actually tripped on that string holding the tree and fell on the concrete. And I instantly knew that I was injured in a bad way. I thought, okay, I instantly knew that I had at least broken my one arm or something, but I ended up breaking my right arm and both my wrists. And that is a horrible feeling to be laying there thinking, oh my goodness, I'm really injured and I'm not even going to be able to get up. And Allan was on the roof, and I kept thinking, okay, if I have to remain calm, because if I scare Allan and tell him, come down, I'm injured, then he might trip coming down the ladder. So I thought, okay, I need to keep calm so that he can get down that big, long ladder and not panic. And so he came down, and I
heard her calling. So I'm like,
now, was it one of those, was it one of those, honey, can you come here for a minute type of calls, or did you know that she had?
No,
well, I called him a few times and he didn't hear me because he was kind of far to the front of the roof and I was in the backyard. And I thought, okay, I'd really like to get up and see, how I'm doing, because I really knew that I had some injuries going on.
So once I popped up over the edge and could see her laying basically face first out like this, and she had a pair of clippers in her hand.
I still had the clippers.
And I knew something was wrong. I didn't know if I should just jump off the roof or if I had to hop down the other two sections.
So I think
down
I was
the ladder, unlock the gate, over the gate. Do I go over the gate? Do I unlock it? I'm just plowing through stuff.
And I was worried. I was more worried about him getting injured coming down than I was about what injuries I had. And so then when he came over, I said, I think I'm going to need, he said, let me help you up. And I was like, no, don't, I'm thinking, don't,
so I didn't
don't
know.
grab my arm. I'm thinking,
I didn't know if she was getting ready to start laughing, right? Or if something was
I'm
really wrong. We're testing the scene here. We're making sure everything's good to go.
I'm a little bit clumsy, and it isn't the first time I've fallen down.
Stop it.
So I think he was expecting that I was just going to get out.
I was hoping.
He was hoping, but I told him, I said, basically, just stay calm. But I'm going to need, I said, I'll get up in a minute. But I was trying to think of a plan and a strategy. And I say, I think I'm going to need a splint for my right arm. And he's like, okay. He was a little bit alarmed. I said, but
were you saying all this while still face down?
Yes, I was still in that same.
She has no idea how alarmed I was. She was looking face down. She wasn't even looking at me.
I was looking.
What the heck?
But it was such a crazy moment, because imagine thinking to yourself, what am I going to do if I cannot use my wrist? And I'm thinking, how am I even going to get up from here? So I said, bring me a little step stool and put it here. Then I just put my elbow on there, and I was able to stand up like that. But he taped some cardboard around it.
I made a tactical field splint that you would normally do, right? All those years of military first aid training. So I went in. I had a wrapper, actually, the label, cardboard label off of that brand new ladder that I just used to climb the roof. Folded it up, slid it under her arm, slid some duct tape around, and wrapped her arm up, branches and all. We went to the emergency room with
branches
leaves and
sticking
sticks.
out. The doctor was really impressed by this splint. And I have to say, when Ellen put the splint on, my arm instantly felt better because it was stabilized. And so that was a really big help. I'm just glad I didn't have this happen when I was home by myself.
Oh yes, that would have been not good.
No, no, I don't think our neighbors were home or anything. I don't think they would have heard me. I don't know how long I would have had to stay out there, but I was really glad that it was a cool day because I had on a coat and gloves, and the coat was heavy. So it kept me from getting scratched up and cut from the concrete. But Allan was a real trooper through the whole thing. We had a couple of months with the cast on, and Allan he took good care of me. So I was really happy that we were able to get through that. And I'm really hoping nothing like that ever happens again.
No.
I would,
now you channeled that. You shared your whole journey with us on your
yeah.
channel. I mean, if you follow Jennifer at home, did you make a playlist of all your videos with you know, going through your rehab and your doctor's appointments? Did you do that?
I don't know if we made a specific medical appointment one or not.
We had a few where we had gone to different checkups and things, and just to show we got, you know, how they do the cast, because they would take the cast off, do x-rays, and I wanted to show people how cool it was about how they put the cast on and wrapped it on up there, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I had never seen that before, so that was really unique.
So who was the most calm of the two during that whole thing? Because it sounds like you guys were just like, you know, like, I fell down. Okay, well, let me go get something for your wrist. Okay, thank you. So do you want to just, can I pick you up and just, you know, I mean, you guys sound so absolutely 100% cool, where I think most people would have just been like panicky. That's, you know, is that just complete faith in the other? Is that what that was? I mean, you're 100%. When you fell, Jennifer, you weren't scared at all, I take it, because you knew that you were in good hands.
Yeah, I was very concerned because I thought, how am I going to manage if I can't use either wrist or hand? But it was really, I think I was so worried about how Allan, I didn't want Allan to get stressed out or panic. And I was so worried about trying to keep him calm, because I think how alarmed I would be if something like that happened to him. I would probably in an absolute panic, worried about getting him to the hospital and all that. But I think I was so concerned about how he was going to handle it that it just made me think, okay, I need to stay calm and talk him through it.
You're making it sound like I have some kind of an issue.
No,
I think it's more along the lines of this has never happened to us before, so there's a little bit of the unknown there. I got a little bit of man ego here. I gotta protect. But Patrick, you're absolutely right. I think I remember us driving back, and we're going to the emergency room, and it's like, gosh, well, which emergency room do you go to? We have 3 in town. Well, we're going to go to the first one, you know. And
I remember telling Allan, I think we're going to need to go to the emergency room after you get this splint done, and he was like, oh, okay, because we happily.
It was okay. Yeah, I have no problem saying you should probably go to the emergency room. It's this one who'd be like, oh no, I'll be all right in a few days.
I'm like that. I don't go to the doctor unless I absolutely have to, or, you know, at one time I broke my foot and I didn't go, and 6 months went by and I was having trouble with my foot. And so our daughter said, Mom, you need to get that checked. And then I went and they did an MRI and said, oh, you broke your foot a while back. And I was like, well, I wondered what was hurting and swelling so much. But I didn't want to miss work. I think I was a workaholic, and nothing would make me miss work. And if the kids were sick, I would stay home with the kids, and then I would go to work that night and make up my time. I just couldn't bring myself to miss work. And as long as I could hobble in there, I was going to keep going. But this time was different when I couldn't use my hands. I knew I had to go.
Yes, that was very entertaining. I have to admit, that was, you know, it's like first when you hear somebody say that, you know, I broke my arm and 2 wrists, you're just sitting there going like, holy crow, you know. But then once it's over with and you see him in the kitchen, and they got their wrist all bundled up like this, and then they're, okay, can you, then there's Alan coming in to do the recipes.
Yes.
Then suddenly it became sort of cute, because it's like, look at her, she's got her hands can't move at all, and and there's her husband doing all the cooking for her, all the recipes. It was so charming. It was really,
you know, and so, right, our ladies always want to they always want to look their best, and I said, well, you can't just disappear. You can be gone for a little bit of time, but at some point we need to we did a video short, I think, first, just to let people know that there had been an accident, and don't worry, we haven't, the channel hasn't gone away. We're not taking a break. We just need to evaluate what's going on. And then, we did a couple of sit downs to document the process, just for the people.
Alan was a really good trooper, though. He made those wonderful Valentine cookies that I really wanted to make. That was on my list. And I really wanted to do those two-tone cutout cookies. And I told Alan, okay, here's the recipe. Here's what we're going to do. And I walked him through it. And I ended up guarding the camera. I was doing the camera. And so we kind of had a role reversal, which was kind of fun. And he stepped in and made the recipes, and I filmed them. And I see Oregon Zan is saying, so last year, I believe it was last year, Oregon Zan went on a trip to Italy. And just after she arrived, she was at a place where you do cooking and learn like an Italian cooking, and they made a meal. And then when she was stepping out, there was a rickety step, like a stone, and Oregon Zan actually broke her leg on her trip. And they went to the doctor, and they didn't realize it was broken. So poor Oregon Zan, and I think I hope I got the story right, but she had to spend the rest of her vacation with a broken leg and get through all of the tours and walking and traveling with a broken leg. So she is a really trooper. She's a good trooper.
Wow.
And Mr. Bones, thank you for putting up the links there. I know we've fallen,
so nice.
we've fallen behind on the chat a little bit because we're watching Patrick. Sorry.
That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear about that, Zan.
But she's doing great now. She's really doing great.
So yes, I mean, as far as husbands go, and we now see how calm we are. We can be calm in the face of adversity. Not all husbands panic. Because sometimes I think us guys, because it does happen. I mean, some guys, when they see their significant other in trouble, that there is that urgency for the hair to turn on fire, and like, oh, what do I do? But I think in a lot of situations, such as what happened to yourself, Jennifer, I think that I think men become calm. They become really, really calm. My wife hurt herself when we were out there gardening. We were out there gardening. I was weeding, and she was doing some pruning, and she cut her hand. And she comes around the corner, and she's got blood coming all over her hand, and he goes, I hurt myself. And I all I did is I walked over, I just grabbed her wrist, grabbed the arm, put it over her head, put my thumb right here to slow the bleeding, and I just walked in. I said, don't look at it, look at me. And we walked in, and then I treated it. I did first aid. And so, it's like a lot of times when people, get to hit that stress wall, especially when, with a husband and wife, it's natural to suddenly panic and get scared, and sometimes you're so panicked you overreact. But with you you always got the sense that it was 100% under control, because it's like, when Jennifer described it, it was so matter of fact. It was like, I fell, I broke both my wrists, I broke my arm. It wasn't a whoa, look at me, poor us, it was just like, it happens. It happens. Now I got casts on my hands, and but we're still gonna charge on. And sure enough, here comes those recipes still coming on, and you can see Alan doing all the cooking, all the baking, And then you see Jennifer in the background, and you can see her hands with her casts and whatnot, and she's like, and she's still trying to, that was the one that made me laugh. It was like when you were trying to mold the dough,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you had your cast on, and going like, that's so cute. That's way too cute.
I kept trying to do everything, and Allan kept saying, "Don't do that." I said, "I'm challenging myself," but
Yeah.
it was so hard because for days I couldn't open a drawer, I couldn't open the refrigerator, couldn't do my toothbrush. Allan was fixing my hair. We were at church, and the man that sits behind us every week, he kept saying, "Allan, did you fix her hair again today?" And Allan said, "Yes, I did. He was impressed every Sunday that Allan had fixed my hair for church, and we had really good teamwork there.
That's right. That's right. That's beautiful. And he did a nice job too, because I mean, your hair looks spectacular during your videos.
Thank you. He
Now,
did.
It's all about the scrunch,
Yes.
Patrick. It's all about the scrunch with the conditioner afterwards. That's just what it's all about.
Yes.
Okay. So now that you got your, are you 100% healed up now, Jennifer? Are you?
Well, I can do everything normally, but unfortunately, my right wrist, it doesn't bend. Not very much. I went through weeks of therapy and occupational therapy, but unfortunately, it doesn't bend very much. However, it doesn't really limit me from doing everything I need to do. So I'm very grateful for that.
Just finds alternative ways.
Yeah, I just, if I pick up something heavy, I have to be careful because sometimes one of my wrists might just kind of give out a little bit. And so I just have to, I hold things a little bit more carefully just in case I don't want to drop something. Because sometimes the strength will just give out, and I'll be setting a cup or something down and I'll set it down a little bit harshly. But they told me that it could take up to 2 years to heal all the way, but I probably won't get the motion back. I cannot, move it very much in any direction. But it hasn't. I'm still able to do what I need to do, so I'm very glad and grateful for that.
Sure. We definitely see you hard at work, for sure. James, Suzanne mentions, thank you for being a brave trooper, Jennifer. That's right, and had an excellent co-pilot in Allan. Allan, I need to work on my own looks. Got any advice on any great shampoo that's easy for hair brushing?
It was Pantene. Shampoo and conditioner, if I remember right.
That's what I use, and then I have a Suave brand
conditioner,
leave-in conditioner. It's like a cream that I just put a little bit in, rub
just
it
a
in,
little,
just a little dab, and scrunch it in there.
Oh my God!
Products easily found at Walmart. I'm not a fancy girl. I'm low maintenance.
That's right. Very, very low maintenance. And now you mentioned something earlier. We'll have to circle back on that now because it is true. But you two love pizza.
We do. I don't normally tell people that, but we do.
Well, I think anybody comes over your channel and they watch it for any length of time, they're gonna see that because you see a lot of the pizza party with friends, and then you got your own wood pizza oven, right? With the stone.
That's actually my Traeger
smoker.
It's a pellet smoker, but it goes high enough with the stone, and you can double it as a pizza oven.
So Allan used to work in a pizza restaurant. When he went into the Air Force, he also had a part-time job where he worked in a pizza restaurant. And after we met, Allan, we were long distance, and so the long distance phone calls that we had, Allan got a job, and he used the money from the pizza restaurant to pay for the long distance phone calls. So he's pretty efficient at throwing the dough in the air, as you can see in the video, and making the homemade crust. He's really good at that.
Yeah. Do you like? So you're totally 100% comfortable in the kitchen as well. Where did you get that from, Allan? I mean, was that from being in your own home? Watching your own parents in the kitchen, or is that something that came to you once you married?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom taught us how to cook growing up. Even to this day, she'll say, "Oh, you were always in there with me. I always gave you a bowl." And I remember Jennifer doing that even with our kids, right? They'd always have a bowl and a spoon with some flour. And
I put some flour and told them, "Okay, kids, I need you to help with this dinner." And they would get right in there. And I'm like, "You need you to stir this really well." And they'd both be, up on the chair just stirring that flour. "How's this, Mommy?" And I said, "Oh, it's looking good. A little more." And they never knew that I didn't put that in the recipe. I just give them the same little bit of flour in a bowl every time they came in the kitchen to cook, and they just stirred it up.
But they got comfortable in there, and so it never, because for a lot of kids, a lot of parents, they don't really like the kids in there because they don't want them to be underfoot or get hurt or anything else like that. So they don't really encourage them when they're younger. And so when they get a little older, they're less, they're less inclined to go inside the kitchen. So I think that's pretty cool that you included them in, all in. Your friends, you enjoy company too. That's one thing I've noticed too on your channel. You guys always have friends over, or you're going over to, and the thing that is so kind is it's so cool is that you make those little bags of bags of creativity. You'll make candy bags or snack bags, or you make a lot of fun items. Where did that come from, Jennifer? Has that always been in your DNA, or was it something you started getting into once you started your YouTube channel?
Oh no, I always have loved entertaining. I don't know why, but I have always loved to have friends over. I think that's kind of like my love language to my friends. My friends tell me I have a gift of service in hospitality. Is that what they say?
I think so.
Something like that. I don't know, but something like that they tell me. But I love to have them over and treat them with a nice meal, or when they have a birthday, I love to do something special and just make it little fun for everybody. And Alan does too. We love to cook for our friends and have them over and fix a meal. And then I always like to make a little treat bag. If I made whatever I make for dessert, I'll usually package it up and have some to send home with them, or make treat bags. We had a Valentine party with our friends, and I surprised them with some card making. I wasn't sure if the fellows were going to enjoy it, but they were good sports, and they joined in and made cards for their wives. And then we had candy bags that we made together to send home with our friends so they could have Valentine treats. I just like to make everything a little extra special if I can.
It's a really nice thing to see. I mean, you come with so many creative ideas. How do you guys plan for your videos? I mean, do you have basically a date night, get a cup of coffee, sit down and pad of paper and plan out what you guys are planning to do? Or is it all just whatever you feel like doing at that time?
Sometimes it's just about me doing something and say, "Hey, let's have our friends over this weekend and make homemade pizza," or we'll have movie night or game night, or we'll say, Alan will say, "Well, I was thinking of putting something on the smoker." And I'll say, "Great, let's make a video." And we'll do a video. And so then I'll just take a little scrap piece of paper and write down what I want to call the video. And then I'll say, "Well, we'll make the pork shoulder part of the video. And what else are we going to have with it?" And we just throw basically the video together with the title like that. And
a lot of times while we're editing one video, I'll just see Jennifer get a notepad out, like you mentioned, and she's like, "I just had an idea." And sometimes I come home from work and I'm like, "Oh, what'd you do today?" "Oh, I shot 3 videos." "Wait, what? Where did that come from?" "Oh, I was just motivated this morning. I needed to make this stuff anyway." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Some days, especially around the holidays, I'll get really motivated and I'll want to make all these recipes and different things. And I'll just sometimes film a video or 3 videos in one day. And if I'm inspired, and then we'll download them, and when we get a chance, we'll put the video together.
Yeah.
Alan looks like a guy that likes watching his movies on a big screen. Alan is a sports guy. You actually you just went to your first hockey game recently.
Yes.
That was a fun video.
Yeah, our friends took us earlier in the year to El Paso to a local AAA hockey game to see whether we liked it or not. And then, so then they're like, "Oh, the Colorado Avalanche is which is their team because they used to live in Colorado." And they're like, "Oh, well, they're playing in Phoenix, playing the Arizona Coyotes." So it's right here by our daughter's house and her husband. So we just bought the tickets and did it. And I'm telling you what, I'll do it again. That NHL hockey is there's a lot of action.
Yes, it was pretty exciting.
Now you live in Las Cruces, so that's New Mexico State territory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
So you guys are Aggies.
No.
Well, we're both from Ohio, so Allan will always forever be an Ohio State Buckeye fan.
You're from Ohio? Oh, honest to God, why am I not surprised? Because it seems like everybody I've been interviewing recently has been from Ohio. Oh. It's true. A lot of So
I caught that earlier when you said you were in Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that. But so that's well, I'm actually a native Californian.
Oh, okay.
I moved here from California in 1999 when I met Lori. So but yeah, so you guys were both. How did you two meet anyway? I should ask that question. How did you two meet? Were you high school sweethearts?
No, our high schools were only about 30 minutes from each other, so we grew up relatively close. But Allan had gone into the military and was in North Dakota at the time. And it just so happens that his uncle was the pastor of our church, my family's church. And so Allan came home on a visit to visit his family for the holidays. And we met at church. But I wasn't really looking for a boyfriend.
That is true. Okay, there's a truth to that. There's truth to this. It's like I remember. This is I worked in nightclubs for over 10 years, live music 10 years. The very first thing I learned, and it didn't necessarily apply to me, but it's the first thing I learned from watching, is that if you don't try to fall in love, if you don't try to do somebody, it will happen. Don't try. Right. It'll happen naturally. So yeah, I'm not too shocked to say that, to see that you weren't looking for it, but it still found you.
Right. And so Allan is just a little bit younger than I am. And so he happens to be the age of my little brother, he was pretty immature back then. And so I knew all of Allan's cousins because we all went to the church, of course, together. And they said, "Oh, we want to introduce you to our cousin." And I thought, well, he looks like a nice young man. But, so I was trying to actually make an exit to get out of the church before they rounded him up and brought him over. And so then we had a social that night after church. Everyone was going to go out to get ice cream. Well, I didn't want to eat ice cream because I didn't want the calories. And so we went to the ice cream place. And of course, Allan's cousins left one place for me to sit right beside Allan. And he said, "Oh, would you like pie or hot fudge sundae?" And I thought, well, that's so odd that this young man would want me to eat desserts that are so full of calories. But I kind of think at that moment I was hooked. When any young man's asking me if I want a delicious dessert, that's all it took, I think. But
isn't it always I always thought it was for the guy. It was always you get to a guy's heart through his stomach. In this case, it looks like it was a little bit reversed.
I think it was because back then I didn't eat desserts or French fries or anything else, and he offered me everything on the menu. And I just was planning to I think I just had water that night, but it was nice of him to offer. And then he wanted to have my phone number. He asked if he could have my phone number. And I was thinking, I'm not sure if I want this fellow calling me. I really don't know. So I said, well, let me give you my address and we can be pen pals. Because I said,
Yeah.
I, I said,
Are you
no,
kidding me? This was well before
Oh,
cell phones, too, by the way.
you know what? You're very, very smart. Very smart. Yeah, I was a writer. I had pen pals. So that's a smart tactic.
well, I was
Because
thinking, I thought I'm never going to hear from this young man. There isn't a young man in this world that's going to sit down and write a card or letter and send it in the mail. So I thought this will be it. I thought I can be kind and give him my address and that'll be the end of it. Well, Alan was so good and persistent that he started writing cards. He sent cards and then he wrote letters. And I would come home after work every day and check my mail. And almost on a daily basis, I had a card or letter. And I got excited to come home and read them every evening. And so then I thought, well, I'll be kind and I'll write back. He's going to all this effort. I'll be a good pen pal and write back. So then I wrote back to him. And then eventually, in one of the cards or letters, he asked again for my phone number. And I thought, well, it's long distance. It's too expensive. He's not going to call. So I sent it to him. And then he started calling. And every evening we talked on the phone, long distance. And I started really looking forward to those phone calls.
wow, that's dedication right there.
Yes, he was very persistent and dedicated.
Yeah, because I mean, it takes commitment to be a pen pal. Let me tell you.
I know.
Now, did you keep that? Did you keep that all throughout your deployment? Did you write a lot?
Absolutely.
Yes, he sent postcards and different things, and we wrote letters back and forth.
You still have them too.
Yes, and Alan he was able to make so many calls on his deployments. I think every week he was allowed so many, and he would have to get calling cards. We would buy calling cards before he would go, and then because we were on a different time frames when he was overseas in the desert in Iraq or wherever he was, and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, he went all different places. And because I was at work during the day and the kids were at school, it was hard for him to be able to call us. So he would have to get up in the middle of the night and walk across the desert to a phone calling center and wait in a long line 2 or 3 in the morning so that he could call when it was dinner time, our time. And then he would call us, and sometimes he would go through all of that. And the minute the phone call connected, it would cut off. And
the phone lines would go out, or there was some kind of a military operation going on where they purposely shut the phones off.
Yes.
To make sure if anybody knew anything, they weren't, wasn't going over
accidentally
open phone lines.
weren't going to tell. And so sometimes
you can tell intel by where a plane flies over. You can hear it. You can pinpoint location. Wow.
So he went through quite a bit to keep in contact with us as much as he could when he was gone.
Yeah. So I never called collect, but I probably should have bought stock back in AT&T back in the day because we went through a lot of calling cards. But you know what? There are a lot of great organizations out there. The USO is a big one. So, if you're looking to give to any charity, anything that supports veterans, throughout my entire career and to this day, USOs not only supply calling cards to people when they're coming through on deployments, gift bags with necessities in it, toothbrush, toothpaste, sometimes even boxes of Girl Scout cookies. But if you roll up into an airport and you're going on a deployment and you don't have a cell phone, they give you a cell phone to use while you're in their lounge,
in the airport,
so that you can call anybody you want anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and times have changed so much because with people having their own cell phones, but back then we didn't have that, and he had to rely on the calling centers, and that was always challenging, but we got through it.
So let's talk about the I had one of those modern relationships. Me and Lori, we met online, so we actually didn't meet each other face to face for a whole year.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we emailed and chatted with each other and talked on the phone with each other for a whole year before we met. So I'm hearing I'm what I'm hearing, and I like I was when I wrote when I was a kid, I used to pen pal too, and I would keep all those letters and whatnot. I remember those days, so I had a feeling you still kept everything. Um, now back to your channel real quick. You guys do a lot of things in your home, and you show that. And recently, you guys been doing spring cleaning. You've been decluttering. So I don't know if I got quite the answer, but I mean, well, I guess I did. So how did that one go? Because that one to me, when I saw the decluttering, I'm going like, man, that is like that's teamwork at its finest. Um, do you like guys? Do you guys like going out shopping together? I mean, do you find when you guys go out, the other one has to go with you? Isn't do you find yourself like I don't want to do this by myself. I
Yeah,
gotta have Alan with me. I gotta have Jennifer with me.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we do. We do almost everything together because I think one reason is because we spent so many years apart just with our work schedules. And even when Alan was home and wasn't deployed, a lot of times he had different evening and nighttime and weekend work schedules. And so we had a lot of times where we were just always on opposite schedules and things. And I worked for years and years and only had 5 days off a year. And so we didn't really have vacation time together when the kids were growing up. We just have real quick trips to go see the grandparents and back home. So now I kind of feel like we're making up for all of that. We missed out on so much of that now we just really enjoy that. And all the different times we've moved and we're in different locations. We, before we had a chance to make friends or meet new people, we just had each other. And so when we were going to get things to put the house together for each different location we lived, we would want to pick things out together, knowing that things we liked. So I think we really got really good at shopping together and decorating together. And of course, the decluttering. Alan is much better at decluttering now than he used to be. He used to. I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna be in trouble now.
Don't touch my stuff.
But now I do.
You're so busted, Alan.
Yeah. But he did really good lately decluttering. I'm very proud of him.
There's one room that's off limits, and it's got all my hunting stuff in it, my old military uniforms, my military memorabilia, right? That's the workout room, and it's like, don't go in there.
Yeah.
I'll lock that door.
Man, do you have a sign that says "Man Cave"? Stay out.
No, there's not even a TV in there. That's kind of the workout room.
I think
but
it's an unspoken.
I've got one closet. One closet's mine. Stay out of it, please.
But yeah,
but look at it this way: the more you declutter, the more the new stuff you'll get come Christmas.
yes, and we have already replaced some of the clothing that he didn't wear, that things that were a little outdated or
absolutely, yeah.
So he knows that we'll get replacement things if he needs them, and take out the old and get some new better things instead.
A lot of it comes down to it's easy to let things pile up because we all live busy lives, right? It's, do you have time to do this? Do you have time to do this? No, I haven't sat down in days. No. So, that last one with the closet and that pile of stuff is real. Trust me, I loaded it in the car. I brought some of it over here to our daughters just the other day, yesterday.
She has a Poshmark store where she sells clothes and things on her Poshmark store. And so I brought the things over and she can list them on there and have the profits from that. And some of the things we donate a lot of things because that's just really convenient for us. And I like to take things right away and donate them so that we don't second guess or go back through anything. So all that's real, that we really are doing that decluttering.
I tried on every pair of shorts, every pair of pants. If it didn't fit, it was time to go. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's sometimes you just stop hoping you're going to get into it someday.
Right. Isn't it? I'm like that too. The one thing I was really impressed with was when you donated your old tool chest, and and because you got a new one from the Home Depot, and I'm going like, yeah. My comment was, you don't know how many hundreds of those I put on cars. That tool chest that you bought, I must have loaded at least 300 to 400 of those suckers during the
Oh.
time of those things are heavy.
I
Where
was
did you
happy for the
donate?
3 guys who put it in the truck for us, but our buddy and I had to get it out of there.
I was gonna say. I mean, where did you donate your old tool chest at? You said you're donating it, and I was curious. I'm like, where's it get? Who's gonna get that? I've never seen that before.
Well,
So
yeah, we have a really nice donation center. It's a Goodwill store, and they have a really nice pull up area where you can just pull up and drop things off. And they also have if you call and prearrange for them, they'll come and pick up larger things. If you tell them what you have and let them know you schedule a time with them, and they'll just come and pick up the bigger things.
that was cool. That was really neat. Now you guys like movies too, because you guys do movie nights, and as you know, my channel is a lot
Yes,
of
a
movies.
lot of good
Um,
movie content.
I'm actually waiting to see. I'm just dying to see you guys actually watch one of the movies that I reviewed, and then talk about it on your channel.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Well, because I know Jennifer's going to ask me which movie should we watch, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know if I'm tempted to throw a horror movie at you or a fun movie at you, because you guys seem to be open-minded about everything I put down. Jennifer will say that looks really interesting, and I'm going like, did she actually watch that? Do you guys watch, what kind of movies do you two like watching together?
Well, I really like comedies. I just think they're funny and uplifting and a nice distraction, especially over the course of this winter when I had my cast on. I really couldn't do very much, and I was preoccupied with thinking about it, thinking about what I couldn't do, and just walking around the house because I couldn't accomplish anything. So I would put a movie on, and it was a tremendous distraction. So it was very helpful for me because it was the only time that I wasn't thinking about what happened. I could get completely wrapped up in a funny movie or a drama or a really good story. I think my absolute favorites are documentaries. I love to find out about interesting things about people's lives. And one time our kids were like, Mom, did you realize what movie you rented at the movie rental? And I said, yes, why? And they're like, why did you rent the movie about Eminem? Do you know that's a rapper? And I said, well, I'm intrigued by the way to find out how people got to be where they are. And I said, this story intrigues me that, where this young man came from and how he got to be where he was. I said, it doesn't mean I have to be a fan of rap music, but I'm just intrigued by the stories about people and their lives. So I think documentaries are my very favorite.
That's how I look at the show. I look at this show. This is what this show is. It's a documentary. It really is. It's exactly a documentary series. Interview series, because you learn about people you don't know about.
And I think that's why we enjoy it so much. We've watched a couple. I'll put some on, and Alan will say, we'll be doing something on the weekend, and Alan will say, "Oh, is that Patrick?" And I say, "Yeah,
Cheetah."
Yes,
that's what I said. That's a cheetah.
That's what he says. Yes.
You know what's funny? This is the honest truth. Too. This is the honest truth. I know you guys watch my. I know you watch the channel, and I find myself when I'm talking to somebody, the one thing I start thinking about was, I got to watch my language. I got to watch my language. Jennifer's watching, and then Zan will come in there, and I'm like, oh, now Zan's here. I got to watch my language. I can't. Some of my kids are a little salty, but now
you, my friend.
Well, see, that's the
Don't
thing.
ever worry about that. Don't ever sell yourself short.
That's the thing about us. We love people to be who they are. And sometimes our friends will say something, and they'll say, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that." And I'll say, no, you should have said it because we like you, because you're you. We like who you are. And that's why you're our friend, because we want people to be who they are.
Yeah, but you find yourself because you guys are so nice and you're so polite and you're so, you're just, such a genuinely, like, you definitely are one of my favorite couples for sure.
Thank
I
you.
see, I see a lot of what I had in you, it's on one half, I mean, it fills me up with love because I just like, man, this is just awesome. I miss that. And and I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to your guys' channel so much, because I just love how much that you guys are so seamless together. You guys are perfect together. Not, of course, every couple has their bumps and bruises. There's no such thing as that, and nor should you want that, because without a little bit of obstacles to overcome, you'll never know how strong you are when you need to be strong. How important is your faith to you? What do you think is the one or two binding things that makes your marriage so strong, your partnership so strong? What are the two things you think is that does that, makes it powerful?
I'll let you take
Let me take that. This is one of those, I'm going to tap you on the leg so you can talk.
I told him, I said, if I want you to step in, I'm going to give you a tap on the leg and tell you, okay, you take it.
You
already had it planned out beforehand. See?
Well, yeah, and see,
so that's how we do our videos. If we're together and we're talking,
and I'll tap him on the back and be like, thinking, okay, it's your turn.
Now I got to ad lib real quick.
Yeah. Because I feel like I'm not very good with words. I don't know. I have a thought, but really putting that into words, sometimes I struggle with that. So
listen, you have to be committed. You have to share the same values. You have to love each other. You got to have a strong sense of faith. We feel very, very strong, very strongly with that. And you just have to work together. I think that's some of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that faith is really important to you both. I've heard you mention on your videos about church many times, and faith. And I respect that so much. I think it's very important to have a strong faith. Sometimes it gets shaken. Sometimes it'll get shaken. And you do wonder about it, but that's when you rely on the partnership even more. Yep. Zan says, same here. I get tongue tied. Now that's amazing.
Yeah, it's all right.
The Zan I know never got tongue tied.
And her videos are so awesome. I just love the way she narrates them when she goes on a trip. It's just it's just captivating. I'll watch the scenes when they were in Italy and they made the videos, and I would start watching the video and it was instantly over. And I was just, some videos, it's really hard. It's a little challenge to watch the whole thing. But when I watch Zan's videos, I watch every minute and enjoy it all because she's just really a natural at putting her videos together.
Yes. I it's so neat to see that, because I've been catching up on her channel, because I wanted to see what she's been up to, and her and Jim have been up to, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and her videos are very beautiful as well too.
Yes.
Let's see. Welcome back, Betty. Glad you're here. Hi, Goshlyn. How are you? Glad you're here. Okay, my last question to you before the show is over with is, what's coming up next on Jennifer at Home? What will be upcoming?
Well, I'm gearing up for all of my fall and decorating, and I'm going to do a lot of cleaning before I do that. And then I'm going to be starting to work on my seasonal videos, all of the Christmas things upcoming. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to be taking a very special trip in November. We're going to go with our best friends, which are also some neighbors from our neighborhood that we actually went to church. We go to church together, but I actually met my best friend at the mailbox in my neighborhood. And so both of them have become our very best friends. So that's kind of unique that we're both friends with this other couple that have been in a couple of our videos. Sometimes it's a little challenging to get it. They don't always want to be in the video, but they've been in a couple of videos.
And we try not to be rude. You know, we saw in the beginning, we were wearing our own kids out. We wanted to make sure we didn't wear out our friends.
So we're going to be going on a trip in November with them, and we're really looking forward to it. Should I tell them?
No, it's going to be a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise.
But we're gonna put her on an airplane. We're gonna fly. We're not going to Europe. We're not going to Europe.
I was gonna say, stay away from Italy.
Yeah.
But I don't know though. I think I'm all. Have you been to Italy yet, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
when we lived in Germany, we toured all over Europe. So
yeah, we were already overseas, so it was easy to get a flight or a train or just drive different places. So we were very blessed and lucky to get to go to so many different places.
Okay, so who has the better pizza, American pizza or Italian pizza? Because I don't think Italians do deep dish pizza, do they?
No, you know, it's more of a wood fired thin crust,
like a hand toss wood fired,
very rustic.
We had some really good pizza overseas in Sorrento, Italy, and Venice, Italy. We had amazing pizza. However, there are some wonderful pizza places we've tried here in the United States that I think are just as good.
Yeah, I just think they can't beat. You know, I would love to have Italian pizza, but it's just no. If they're not doing deep dish, you're not doing pizza. That's just deep dish is I love deep dish pizza. I'm just it's my favorite. So you're gonna go on vacation. We'll be waiting for that, excitingly for that. And you mentioned Christmas in July.
Well, I'm going to be starting my videos, but I'm not going to do any Christmas in July videos. I'm going to just save those for the actual holiday.
But I'll tell you what, it's all out of Hobby Lobby already. That was Friday's video.
Yeah, right? We were very surprised.
Are they put Christmas up already at Hobby Lobby?
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We were very surprised to see it.
Did you look at each other and go like, oh no.
It was like, get the phone out.
Alan's like, oh, he said, I have to film this. So he filmed it.
We're amazed. We're amazed when they start showing up Halloween stuff. We're all going like, it's Halloween. It's July.
Yeah, we've got some other pizza lovers there. The friendly man likes deep dish pizza.
Yes, deep dish is.
We need to get the cast iron out. We need to get the cast iron skillet out just for you, Patrick.
Oh man!
Make a deep dish pizza. I'm gonna do it.
I'm actually hoping. I was actually hoping for cookies myself because you can ship those.
Oh,
we'll dump that out and make cookies afterwards. How's that?
What was that?
I said we'll make the pizza, dump that out, and then we'll make some cookies afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds great. I can't wait to see what you guys are coming up next. By all means, everybody in the chat, please follow Jennifer at home. She's got such a delightful channel. Alan and Jennifer are, like I said, they are. Once you subscribe to their channel and watch their videos, you'll be hooked. They're so loving. They're so creative. I love the way Jennifer. I like how you narrate your videos, Jennifer. You have you have a very sweet speaking voice, and I think it really comes through. And then Alan with a lot of fun and energy. I mean, you guys really are, like I said, one of the loveliest couples on the tube. And the thing about it is, though, that's who you really are in real life. What we're watching is who you are, and I think that's what even makes your videos all that much more fun, is because there's no put on, there's no the smile for the camera. It's how you are. If we went to your house today, we would get what we're getting right here, right now, and it comes through. It comes through. It really does.
I wanted to remind everybody to go and hit the like button on Patrick's channel. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video.
Yes, and share us out. Share this video out. I think a lot of people who follow your channel, once they see that you've done this, have you been interviewed yet on a YouTube? Has anybody ever interviewed you yet about your?
I did one interview with Penny from Penny's Place, and that was probably about a year ago, I think.
Mm-hmm. It was before your accident.
Yeah, so that maybe a year and a half ago. So that was the first interview I've done, and this is the second one.
I keep telling Jennifer, I said, listen, we should just hit the button and advertise. We're going to go live. Let's do some live streaming every once in a while.
Then I panic and say, I know I couldn't do that.
She's been worked up for this for days.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Were you all worked up for this?
Oh, I was getting a little stressed because I get a little anxious and nervous talking with the camera like this. And it's not like I can do when I'm making a video and stop and film the clip 12 times.
Trust me, I edit those clips sometimes.
I would love to, honest to heaven, I would love to see you guys do a live stream and either Alan do something on the grill or you guys make pizza together. You guys got to do that. Do that by August 26th because that's my birthday and that's what I would love to have for my birthday. See you guys do a live stream and make a pizza together.
That would be really cool. We'll write that down as soon as we get off the phone.
All right, August 26th. She doesn't forget a birthday either, so let me tell you.
That's the thing. I don't know why. I still remember birthdays from people I went to school with, and I took a driving class when we moved to England with Alan. Got transferred with the military, and I'll say, oh, it's February 22nd. It's so and so's birthday from my driving class, and
oh my gosh,
who does that, right?
30 years ago.
But she held on to all your letters though from when you guys were first writing each other.
Yeah.
So you really couldn't be all that surprised.
Yeah.
You guys, okay. I keep asking questions, but this is my last question for sure, for real. Do you guys ever pull those out and reread them together?
Oh, sometimes I do. In fact, I made some books. Like I put them in the computer and scanned them in. Mm-hmm. I made some Shutterfly books with pictures from Alan's military days and scanned in some of the postcards and letters that he wrote, some of the ones he wrote to the kids when they were really little. And so that way I was able to send those books to the kids and they can pull them out and read those letters and messages and look at the pictures and all of that. So that's kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls. That is going to be that is going to be it for today. I'm going to thank Jennifer and Allan for coming and hanging out with us. I hope you'll come back and do this again.
Yes,
absolutely. It was great.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
And your your audience in the chat was great.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here.
I know we didn't say hi to everybody. I apologize, but thank you.
Yes, I looked over there and read all the nice messages.
I go over here. James mentioned the Detroit style pizza is great too. It is. I love Detroit style.
Yes.
I'm trying to be a good pro. I'm trying to try not to stammer so much. This has been a lot of fun this week. I've had some really good people to talk to. You and Alan yesterday I got to talk to or day before yesterday I got to talk to Horace Sheffield. I don't know if you watched that one or not, but that's a really good interview as well. And we'll be having the Reverend will be coming back after he comes back from his vacation. Sensational man. Hope you guys will watch that. Real quick before I let you guys go, I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the IFC Midnights. I'll be joined by Mary Wilson, Ben from Cadaver Club, and our newest night, Horror with Haas, will be joining us tomorrow night, and we'll be deep diving Hellgate. That's actually a very good movie. You guys would really like that movie. Stars John Hurt and our William Hurt and Carrie Elways. It's mainstream, but it's a really good film, and we will be talking about that at 6 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, August 1st, we have a doubleheader. Me and the Cheetah, we're flying over to Slovenia to interview Katiana Lee. It's our first time that we've interviewed anybody from Slovenia. So we'll be talking to her. She is an actress and a TV hostess, and that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then at 8 o'clock, our regular time, we'll be back and talk to our friend Tim. Tim. He is a superb van lifer. That guy, he is a MacGyver of van life. He can take his rig and he can configure it for many missions. You would actually like him very much, Alan, because he takes his van and he can wherever he's going or however he's going or wherever he's going, he can rebuild his van to fit the mission.
Our son would like that too. We'll have to tell our son about that too.
He is amazing, and he's one of the nicest guys in the community, in their community. And he's going to be coming over and talking to us about his van life journey. Thank you to the chat for coming in, for coming on in. I really do appreciate it so much. Go ahead and share us out, and if you're new to the channel, give us a sub, drop a comment, and I appreciate it so much. All right, you two guys stay right where you're at for 1 minute. I'm going to say good night to the chat. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you tomorrow night, hopefully at 6 p.m. here for our IFC Midnights. Be good to each other. Peace.